Hey everyone, today is the 19th of July and I kind of want to try building a house out of pallets I've been collecting. You see, right here is all very squishy. Inside the garden's a bit flooded. That's how high the water table currently is in the area. It's been raining a lot over the past 2 months and we finally got, it looks like 2 days that are going to be dry. Very squishy here. And I'm probably gonna have to make dozens of trips down this trail. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my boots on. Water table's very high because most of the property is a swamp. So I've been collecting some pallets. I had this idea back in the winter, but somebody beat me to the giant pile of free pallets that a lot of businesses put out by the side of the road. Yesterday I was able to collect about 18 of them, which I think is enough to build a pallet house. And between the pallets, the boards, those gaps, I plan on closing them up. I bought some lath board, which is used in older buildings or repairing older buildings. Most new houses use sheetrock and not plaster board. We got this little river here flowing, which typically only flows during the spring thaw. Water table is extremely high. Back here we have this area where there was a blowdown, and with all the rain, the trees are starting to grow back into the clearing pretty well. I brought one pallet out here, which was kind of heavy. Having to lug this is almost 500 feet from the driveway. I thought about clearing this area with a rake and building it out here, but I decided I didn't really want it out here, and that trail is very muddy. So we're gonna try going up a different trail, and it's probably going to take the better part of the afternoon bringing all the pallets this far into the forest. So if I get my arm around the pallet correctly, it's pretty easy to pick one up in each arm. So I got this trail here that's a little more overgrown, but it goes to a nice campsite. Again, right here we have the very squishy water table. But up here, we're walking up a little bit of a hill now, and this area is pretty dry and pretty shady. Back here's a pretty nice flat spot, which I think I'm going to try to build a little pallet house. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time bringing them up here. Then we'll have to go get the drill and a bunch of long screws. So I'm going to try to do 2 pallets on each corner of the house, and that will make it about 8 by 8 feet, perfect for sleeping in. And then we're going to see about what we're going to do with the roof. I plan on putting a metal A-frame on it, and I'm not sure how I'm going to reinforce it. It doesn't need to put up with snow because it's probably not going to be permanent. The moss around here is becoming beautiful. Look at this. Look at that beautiful rock. A lot of the forest floor is becoming like a carpet. All right, everyone, I can't believe I got that moved in just 20 minutes, all these pallets. Kind of tired out from that. I'm gonna take a little break. So this is what I was talking about. The pallets, most of them are about 4 feet or so, 3 feet. This will work great for filling in the gaps with tiny little nails. This is lath board, pretty cheap. Maybe I'll go buy more. That's all I had was one bundle of them. These pallets at the end I was moving, are like twice as heavy. They're wet because they've been in the yard for quite a while. I also had to be careful where I was touching because they're covered in slugs. You can see one down there. If you touch a slug with dry hands, it's really hard to get that slime off. But if your hand is already wet, the water's a barrier and doesn't really stick to you. So this is what I collected for pallets. They're not all the same size, so this is going to be interesting, and it may look a little funky. So I'm going to come back up here with a bunch of screws and a drill, and we're going to try to set these up in a square. And as far as the roof, I might go to the store and buy a little bit of stuff to make framing. Although the metal roofing I have is corrugated and it has enough structure to hold itself as just a summer structure. We'll screw it down in the sides, and it's going to be hopefully steep enough that even snow would slide off it, but all it really needs is one beam in the middle. It's not that big of a structure to be able to put up with the snow. This is why those pallets were so wet. They were here hiding in this bush of raspberries. You see there's a whole bunch of slugs now fleeing for their lives. As the sun is starting to bake them, they're all going to have to run back into the bushes. So those pallets, I usually collect them for stacking all my firewood on. That pile there is so big, I'm pretty sure the pallet got crushed. And look, there's even another one there we can use. But it doesn't matter that I crushed the pallet from the weight of the firewood, because as long as it's not going to be frozen or touching the ground, that's all that matters. And firewood will tarp that in the fall. This I don't think will be ready for this burning season, especially with all the rain we've been getting. A lot of this wood is growing mushrooms on it. And this big bin here is for our off-road fuel. So everyone, I'm surprised. This structure, as stupid as it looks, is stronger than it looks. There's barely any screws holding it together, just gravity. And as we give it a few more reinforcements, it should really tighten up. These are going across because they're straight. And when I screw, it'll pull everything up, just to give it a little reinforcement, especially so I can walk here without worrying. Maybe they should go up on top right here. Maybe that would be better. Still thinking about it. That is the weak spot. All right, everyone, to be honest, this is actually going a little better than I thought. This is not how I planned it to be, but those pallets are actually pretty strong. And with that steep pitch of the roof, I don't think that's going anywhere, even in the winter. Very steep, nothing can build up on it. Doesn't even need any support other than that. Once it's all connected together, it's gonna hold itself together pretty well. Yep, so I gotta go now, and I need to get 1, 2, 3. So I need to get 5 more pieces of metal roofing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I need to get 7. I'll get 8 to be safe as far as the metal roof. Now the lath board idea worked really good. I need to find one more bundle of that. See how I'm plugging all the holes? It's a little bit tedious, but it works good. Now that's just, to keep the breeze and keep it more contained. As far as the roof, most of this is just gonna stay open. As far as bugs, I plan on just using some citronella candles in there all night. Very spacious, basically anywhere a chimney pipe could come up through. There's a big enough gap in the middle that you could go up through. I'm gonna plug those, although I'm not too worried about something like a raccoon coming in. They'll typically just leave you alone. All right, so the Home Depot was out of this stuff yesterday, and we're gonna get it here. It says clearance. That's literally twice the price, but now that it's on clearance, it's slightly more, but we'll get it. It's more neatly put together. We only need 1 more case of it. That should do a whole project. All right, everyone, I'm back now, almost 2 hours later, and here we got a bunch of metal roofing. I did end up getting the crown for the top of it. It'll just make the job a lot easier. I am using actual roofing screws, which have a rubber washer, so you can screw through anywhere you want. If you can hear that in the background, my mom is here trying to get the dog in the house. Right here is the lath board I just picked up. That should be enough to cover. We already did more than half of it. We just got to get this whole wall in here. I got to squeeze underneath there, get that done. The back right there still needs a little bit, but where I did it, you see, you can't even see through it anymore. And up top, to make sure things like raccoons don't come in the middle of the night, this is a summer shelter. It's not designed to keep heat, but if it's still standing, which I don't see why it wouldn't, I might use it in the winter, and I can maybe stuff insulation into this because it's kind of like rafters. Tonight, I think I'm gonna reuse all the chicken wire from my camping video when I made the ice tent. I'm just gonna take thumbtacks and put that all over the ceiling, and that would eliminate anything easily getting in here. It'd also cover up the hole in that smaller pallet over there. So this is coming along pretty well, and I plan on simply just using a blanket for the door, and when we're in here we can just put thumbtacks around it. Relatively flat spot right there for a bed, and that's all we really need in here. I might bring out a grill, do some cooking in here later tonight. These pieces of metal roofing are actually quite heavy. This is 4 of them. All right, everyone. This actually looks really cool for a structure that we were able to put up in just like 6 hours is all it took. Less than 6 hours, actually, because we went to the store for 2 hours. So here's an old bottle that was always here, but I was standing on this piece of rotten tree. It's got a very steep roof, and it's got maybe a 5-foot span there. And I don't think winter will actually crush this. I think it'll all kind of slide off. And if it does crumple, oh well. So it's actually very dark in there now. What I did with the lath board keeps all the wind off it. If I go and shake it, this thing is very structural now. Now that the roofing's screwed up top and bottom, it's all holding itself together. I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but to get up here, because I didn't want to go get a ladder, I just grabbed this and went right up in here. It's holding together very well. Now, everyone doubted the questionable roof I put on the truck camp, saying it was going to blow off. It never blew off, never leaked, or anything. Inside here now is nice and dark, pretty well sealed. Now I'm going to go get chicken wire and thumbtacks and close off the entire ceiling so no critters can get in. All right, I'm back. I thought I had the metal thumbtacks, but this is all I could find, if this is even enough to hold this to the ceiling. So this was from our ice tent we made in the winter. This stuff can be used as kindling for fires. So I'm gonna try to tack this to the ceiling. The mosquitoes are starting to get bad, so I just had to put on some bug spray. So it doesn't have to go on the walls. That's tight enough. I'm just trying to stop things from raccoons or whatever from getting in at night. So this shouldn't be too hard to tack that to the ceiling. Worst comes, I'll just use roofing nails. All right, let's see how this goes. Starting with one piece. I think the thumbtacks will work. These pallets are very hard, meaning they're difficult to drive in, which is a good thing. That pallet's not hard. Nope, not happening with this one. I just decided I'm not going to do this because I don't think anything's going to mess with us at night in the first place. Except maybe a mouse is likely to come in there, but that's not a concern. What I'm putting up there is not going to stop anything, so I'll just leave it open, and I'll keep citronella candles burning all night in there. That'll keep the bugs away. I'm not really concerned about anything else messing with me. I'm really not. So, yeah. I think it's time to maybe get a tarp in here and bring out some bedding. Alright everyone, after building this today, I'm kind of hungry. So we're going to start up a little grill now, and while it's heating up, I'll start making the bed, and I'll get that door figured out. So, we're going to use a little charcoal grill here today, and we're going to cook some food on it. I think we need a little bit more charcoal. smoke this makes is also going to be good. It'll keep all the mosquitoes away. I wonder if the wildfire smoke is why the mosquitoes haven't been really bad until today. Because today's the first day it's actually looks clear around here. So I'm going to go ahead and make these into a nice pile. Charcoal grill always starts up better if we make it into like a nice pyramid in there. Then we got to soak it a whole bunch. I think that's good enough. It'll keep soaking that up forever. And now we gotta wait like 20 minutes until all the oil burns up. Once it gets going nicely, we'll put the grate back on, let it sanitize for a minute, then we'll start cooking. Put that off to the side. And I'll put this off to the side. And I gotta get all my supplies inside. Here's a good amount of bedding. And here's my actual bed. I've been using this for a while. It's starting to rip. It looks like there's another mattress that's pretty nice inside. I didn't even know this came off. I might just get rid of the outside cover. See, this is a nice hospital mattress, 100% waterproof. It's good for camping videos, especially in the winter if it gets all wet. It looks like this is also waterproof inside, so I might just throw out the cover. First thing I'm gonna do is open up this tarp, put it all over the floor in there. Hopefully if I have a dry spot, it'll keep the slugs off me in the middle of the night. Wow, that tarp is like the perfect size for this place. Perfect. It's got a clock. I'm just gonna put it on the wall with my thumbtacks. This is for the door, bed sheet. All right, that looks pretty good inside now. So the rest of the thumbtacks we'll secure a little better so something can't just easily run in there, which I doubt will even happen. We've made shelters like this before. Nothing's ever done anything like that. We got a clock in there. I'll put some camera lights in here and I'll make a time lapse of throughout the night and we'll see how it goes. I just hope it gets a little cooler out because it's very hot now. Tonight's supposed to get down into the lower 60s, so it shouldn't be that bad of a night sleeping. All right, we're still waiting on this charcoal. It's been over 10 minutes. We gotta wait until all the coals are completely white, meaning they're super hot. Then we'll start throwing some food on. All right, everyone, it's now been about 20 minutes and you can see that's so hot in there, really red. Gonna go ahead and move that around a bit. Put this on top, let it sanitize for a minute. It's very hot. I can barely keep my hand over this thing. Just trying to get the grate on there. Ah, it's very hot over that. Finally. Let that heat up and we'll put the food on in just a minute. All right, everyone, now that it's getting a little darker out, it's getting cooler. You can hear the birds chirping now. The slugs are becoming more active. Hopefully too many of them aren't crawling over me in there. I know all that bedding's gonna have to be washed. Slugs are another issue. There's a lot of things I don't like about summer camping. Bugs, slugs, I didn't even think of that one. Risk of bears, heat. It's always a muddy mess. I just love sub-zero camping. That's usually my favorite thing to do. So we're gonna start cooking this now. It's nice and hot right now. So we got some burgers we're gonna throw on there now. I'm gonna try these. It looks like some kind of fancy, maybe sugar-coated hot dog bun. It was on Walmart's discount shelf. It's a couple days expired now because I didn't use them yet, but whatever. Got some cheese. Here's some hot dogs. I'll throw some of them on. And no, that food's not all for me. I mentioned earlier in the video, my mom is visiting me for about a week or maybe 10 days up here, and I'll bring some of this back to the house when it's done cooking. It's only a couple 100 feet out of the woods. So we're gonna try making some food now. Now the thing I love about charcoal grills, you can slow cook everything so you never burn anything. I think that's my favorite thing about a charcoal grill. I'm gonna wait on the hot dogs a little bit because they cook up a bunch faster. We'll wait on them for now. Time to close it on up. This guy's got a broken wing. Yeah. All right, it might be time to flip these now. It's been a little bit. No, it's not ready yet. We gotta wait a little longer. All right, everyone, I left the top open, made them cook a little faster. We're still slow cooking. They'll still be in here for quite a while. Hopefully the bear doesn't smell me tonight. I've been here sitting in the smoke. It's going really nice, I think, for the rest of this to get it to cook now, because it's been a while. You see, it's not even leaving lines. Everything you're seeing here is smoke residue on the food. That's why they look dark. See, it just wipes right off just from it being a smoker. Yeah, so this stuff, I think these burgers are already nice and cooked through. We'll just let them go for like 5 minutes, maybe a little more with this thing open. Now that it's open, it'll start glowing red under there again. And the grease has now combusted into flames. It's glowing red down there now. See, that made it a little crispy, that one. So the burgers are definitely done. The hot dogs need to crisp up a little more, so we'll throw those in the middle. And I think the hamburgers we're all gonna take off now. So those can crisp up in the fire for just a couple, maybe just a minute or so. And I'll gotta get the buns and stuff out. Yeah, these smell sweet, like a glazed donut. I think these are gonna be awesome. Maybe I'll eat these without anything later. Although they're very hard to pull apart. I broke one of them. How many of those we got? 2 each. All right, everything looks to be done. Let's get this stuff out. Yeah. And I'm just gonna leave this grill open for a while. Let it burn all the food off so the bear doesn't smell it. And then I'll close it up and we can save a good amount of that charcoal for next time. All right, we got a good amount of food going. So it came out pretty well. Lots of food, and yep, it combusted into flames already. I came back to some big flames. Look at that. Good, burn it all off so the bears don't smell. All right, everyone, I'm done eating. Lately, I've been losing a lot of weight, and I gotta remember my stomach's not as big anymore. I almost couldn't finish that. This right here is just about done. Everything is burned off. So we gotta go and shut the vent off, which I probably can't touch. Ugh. There's a bee buzzing around me. And now we'll just snuff that out, and all that coal can be reused next time. That should be cold in just a little bit. All right, everyone, it'll be dark in about an hour. I am all cleaned up, got everything picked up. Bear can't smell anything now. That's one of the good things about camping in the backyard. You can hide and cover up everything. I think this wall looks amazing, the way we patched the majority of those cracks. There's barely any openings now. I think this structure looks cool, and I hope it survives the winter. With that steep roof, it's not going to be able to hold snow. It's all going to slide off. But there's not a lot of spot for it to fall, so I'm worried it might back up into it. So maybe I'll go to the store and I'll buy some like 2x3s and give it one brace in the middle of that span on each side. But then again, well, I don't think it's strong enough to even do this. If there's tons of snow there, you know, pulling and balancing on itself, I don't even think it has a structure for that. But this thing is designed to be temporary. If it holds up to the winter, I'll make a winter camping video in it. Otherwise, I'm just going to tear it down. But I can reuse all the metal roofing for another camp in the future. And the pallets, I can take most of that apart and use them for firewood or some other structure. And none of this is pressure treated. It can all be used as kindling for indoor heating or campfires. So I'm going to walk around for a while, go for a deep woods walk, and we'll get to sleep in just a couple of hours. Well, the way I am, I probably won't be in there until like 1 or 2 in the morning. But I did a lot today. I'm sure I'll sleep well. You know, I don't use this trail often in my yard, and we really wore a trail today. It's becoming muddy now. All right, everyone. Right now, it's very peaceful outside. It's about to be midnight. You can see my nice trail here from bringing things to the campsite, surrounded by all that nice dew. Look what I have right here. So this here is a jump starter for a car. It's come in handy for me 3 times so far, and it has this adapter for a cigarette plug, and now I'm trying to plug my off-road light into it. Will I be able to bring you guys on a walk around the woods with this? Let's find out, and let's find out how long it'll actually work. I bought one of these adapters years ago for a normal power bank, but the adapter quite literally couldn't handle the current, and it had like a safety switch. When it heats up, it would shut off, so I couldn't get more than like 30 seconds of it running the big light. But I think this will work because this adapter doesn't have a transformer. It's inside of the thing, and if it can jump a car, I think it'll run this for long enough to go on a walk on some of the trails. Now, I do have a massive Jackery power bank, but it literally weighs 40 pounds and it looks like a suitcase. That could definitely handle it for many hours walking in the woods with this light. But I don't want to lug that around. I'm going to bring you guys to my campsite right now. Let's flick on this right here. And it's working. So let's see how long, though, because this is awesome for filming at night. Look at this. This is a very bright, portable off-road light. It's got a big magnet so you can stick it to your roof or hood, and you just plug it in through the window. If this runs for a while, this will be great for at night, and it even shows, see those blue lights, how much of a charge we have left. Even in panoramic mode, you can really see it. So I'll bring you guys on a little walk around the forest, see what we can find. Now that it's nighttime without the sun, you can really see, look how oxidized the one piece of metal roofing I bought last year is compared to the shiny stuff today. This is one insanely bright light. So my bed's all made. Everything's made in here. Anything the bears might get attracted by is gone. This I'm not going to open until morning. That looks good. Found that at the Ocean State Job Lot store. And I'm going to bring a bunch of water in my tent. This is the light I'm going to be running for my time lapse in case anything happens, like a bear breaks in the middle of the night. Highly doubt anything's going to mess with me. It's so quiet and nice out here. I actually thought about I have a bunch of motion sensing solar lights. I thought about putting one out here, but if it got tripped, that would probably just scare me in the middle of the night. So, and there's a security camera way up on the tree. It's not actually a security camera, but it's a security camera housing like you would find on a business. I removed the glass lens hoping a bird would use it as a house, but never happened. Right here we got a bunch of citronella candles. I'm maybe going to leave one of them lit far away from me in there, or maybe find a way to hang it from the ceiling where it can't catch anything on fire. Honestly, I don't think we're going to need it. It's now down to 52 degrees, a little bit too cold for the mosquitoes to be comfortably roaming. And we're going to get down into the 40s tonight. So, I don't think we really have to worry about that. And so far, this power bank, nothing's heating up. So, let's go on a little walk around the woods before it gets really dark out. Well, I meant before it gets late. It's already late. It's about midnight now. This is the property line. Well, that is that pink ribbon. These pink ribbons. Take a walk down the trail. Sometimes we can see flying squirrels out here at night. The trails, most of them are finally not squishy like I was showing you this morning. Today was a first day without rain in a while. Tomorrow also. Then we got a 40%, 60%, 40%. A lot drier than what we've been having. Right here's a bunch of trees that blew down last year. Those ones aren't on my property, but this is owned by a logging company behind me. I don't think they would care if I cut that up as firewood, but I'm not prioritizing that kind of wood. Hardwood's the best stuff to burn. The logging company was nice enough to not come within 50 to 70 feet of the property line, so you don't have to see into a clearing. So now we're gonna walk down the trail, see what kind of critters we might find. I'm collecting quite a bunch of spider webs on my face right now. I can feel it on my legs. Out on these nighttime walks, I always wear my boots. Can walk through grass that's covered in dew without getting soaked. Walk through all the puddles. Here's some more birdhouses. You see I reused a bunch of security camera brackets to make these. Found those dumpster diving a while back when a business threw out their like $50,000 surveillance system. The cameras that go in those things are insanely powerful. Last night I came out here, there was flooding in front of the bridge. This flooded so much, this little tiny creek. It's just drainage. Usually doesn't even flow in the summertime. You saw this morning when I showed it. Now it's tomorrow, it might come to a halt. Another day without rain. And this goes for quite a ways. We'll meet up with that once again. The trail loops around. Now here's the area I showed you earlier in the video. Huge blowdown area. We can take this trail up here. Area with a bunch of beautiful moss. It's so quiet out. All I can hear is rapids of a nearby river way in the distance that we wouldn't be able to hear during the day with the noises of every day and traffic. So bright and green, all the moss creeping up all the fallen trees, helping decompose and break them down. That's one good thing about all the wet weather. The moss is absolutely taking off everywhere. Going around a corner. We're about to meet up again with that center trail. And here's also like a carpet as far as the eye can see. Moss. Being a very nice wet year, I actually had to do a bunch of trail trimming. Past couple years, trees didn't grow enough to even have to do that. Every trail here is covered in spider webs. This is the trail there where the blowdown is. Wow, here's another spider. I just keep walking through them. That's an orb weaver, I think. I don't want to go through him. I actually see him. I wonder how many I'm going to find on myself. I'm collecting spider webs on me like crazy. I'm actually wearing a jacket today because it's kind of cool out. But now that I'm walking, I want to take it off. I just have it on me in case I want it in the middle of the night. Might get a little chilly out if it does get into the 40s. Although I've camped before when it's been down really cold and there's never been a problem. And we can take a look at the creek up here. I don't even think that drainage area I showed you up there is even coming down to this section of the trail. I don't think it's flowing enough, but now we're going into a swampy area that needs things to walk on. You can sink up to your knees in certain spots otherwise. So this is where the drainage comes down. It's obviously wet, but it's not flowing anymore. A lot of sitting water. No matter how dry it is, even last year where it didn't rain for months straight, these puddles always remain. The water table didn't really budge last year, despite that. But the trees did bad last year because their roots don't go more than 2 feet deep usually. And right here we got the well system. We can give that a little pumping. Yeah, see, this is all sitting water that doesn't go away. That's how high the water table is. Did I just accidentally shut it off? I did something, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, this runs perfect. We didn't use any power on it yet. It's good to keep that thing primed. Because if you don't prime it, you gotta wait like a couple of minutes after pouring water in the top of it for the diaphragm to expand enough. For our compression, had to add these extra patio stones this year because it's just so squishy and wet this year. Here's the raspberry patch. There's about to be so many of them. I see a bunch of invasive Japanese beetles eating them. It looks like that moth right there is eating that only ripe one I see. Yeah, there's the Japanese beetle that likes to defoliate and eat them. Those are also the guys that lay the grubs in the lawn. The turkeys have been hanging around lately. They'll come in here and they'll eat any ripe ones before I even get the chance. I love being out at this hour. It's so beautiful and quiet. It's peaceful. Perfectly still air. It's cool enough now that I can see my breath. Can you see that? Look at the tracks I'm leaving in the dew. I should draw something. I leave these high areas of grass because it attracts animals. I'll mow them down at the end of the year since this is the septic field and you can't have things like trees growing there. Want to be careful not to touch the electric fence going in. And here we got a bunch of carrots growing, lettuce, potatoes. Pretty soon I'll have a whole bunch of tomatoes. Got the strawberries, zucchini, cucumber, corn, broccoli, onions, sunflowers. We'll have a good harvest pretty soon out here in the garden. This whole garden was flooded this morning like I showed you. The water table finally dropped, so it won't kill anything. Now we're going down another trail. This river was raging the other day, but it's gone just about back to normal now. Crystal clear water. Every time we get a storm, within minutes, this turns to coffee-colored water because there's logging roads just a couple hundred yards up above, and the dirt quickly washes off of them. It's cold enough tonight that we can see some steam rising off of the ponds. I'm looking around for some frogs because it's a nice dewy night. Most of the frogs are probably out hunting. At this point, I would say a good 60% of the tadpoles we rescued have already turned into frogs and have left. I've been making almost daily videos on my second channel showing that progression, which is, we're just about done with them at this point. Then there's certain ones that haven't converted into a frog at all. But for the most part, I think they're done for the year. These smaller pools that heat up in the sun, they developed much faster because of the warmth. My giant pond is where the remaining 40% I talk about have yet to leave the water. A couple of weeks ago, we had hundreds of tiny frogs, half the size of dimes, all over the yard. It's amazing how a big tadpole shrinks into a tiny frog before it leaves the water. I'm absolutely amazed this contraption works. Nothing is heating up. We didn't even go down 1 bar on the power. The light itself is heating up, but that's completely normal. Like I said earlier, the slugs might be a problem tonight. All right, everyone, I'm inside now, and I took my shoes off. And the first thing I'm noticing right now is it's considerably warmer in here than outside. So I'm definitely going to take this jacket off. In here, we're completely sealed in. Smells like a lumber yard. Brand new construction. And I'm so glad I sealed all the holes in the pallets. It makes you feel so much more secure. It's like a unfinished room. Not to mention, look at all these nice shelves. I'm so glad I did it vertically like that. And we got power banks here. One of them is to run the camera, and one of them is to run the light right there. That light is running on 100%, but I typically, during time lapses at night, bring it down to like 5%, which is still very bright, so you can see everything in here. I don't think we need any of the citronella candles. It's cold enough. I don't think the mosquitoes are going to mess with us at all, but we got them. We got the lighter just in case. Now I'm going to take my thumbtacks, and I just want to seal up the door just a tiny bit so it just can't blow open or whatever. Just got to push in a bunch of pins. We don't need that many. Maybe 2 on the bottom of each side. Look at all the mud I already tracked in here. And we'll just put some on the other side. That one is way harder to push into. That pallet is so dry and hard. Let me push it into the lath board. Those lath boards, I think, are like in the process of rotting. The ones I got from Lowe's, they were damp, weak. You could break them way too easily. I think they were left outside a little too long. The quality was horrible of those. And I got some earplugs. It's nice and quiet out, but when you're sleeping in the woods, or at least me, any little mouse or something running around in the leaves is going to make a lot of noise. And I just don't want to get woken up by the smallest little thing. Not to mention, right above my head, I think I can literally, if it wasn't for the chicken wire I put up, definitely, basically anything could walk through this right here. Just wide open hole. But I'm not too concerned about anything coming in here. There's all kinds of spots you could hang things in here. It's pretty strong. I was walking all over this, wasn't buckling at all, but the building, it doesn't really move much at all. And the steep roof, I don't think enough snow can build up on there for that to be a problem either. So this is pretty nice in here. Got my headlamp. I can take the thumbtacks and I can make hooks just about anywhere I need to in here. Actually, this jacket for now, I can go up and just plug this massive hole. Just leave that. I don't feel drafty or anything. Outside temperature right now is about 52. Inside, we're reading about 57, maybe 58 degrees in here. I can go and put my keys up on a shelf. And I think I'm going to go to bed pretty soon. It's already getting late. It's almost 10 after 1. All right, so this is giving me the feeling of a chicken coop or a barn inside here now. Something ran through the woods. I don't think it was that far, within 100 feet. Something went running pretty fast. Maybe a coyote. That's what I'm thinking. At least in here, I'd have plenty of warning if some bigger animal tried to get in here. It's not going to just get in here that fast. You'd hear it, and then you'd have time to scare it away. I move the clock. So I'm just here, laying in bed now. My lower legs are pretty sore from today. I'm pretty tired. I think I'm going to try to get some sleep, put the earplugs in, forget about whatever's out there right now walking around. And I think I'm going to try to get some sleep now. Yep. So I'm just hanging out in here, and what I'm noticing now is, you see the metal roof up there? I'm underneath a pine tree. Every time a pine needle falls, just the teeniest little needle, the metal roof amplifies the noise. Can hear some Jake brakes out there on the highway. All right, everyone. I think it's finally time to try to get some sleep. So I'm going to grab those earplugs, and good night. Good morning, everyone. So, I actually slept pretty well in here. It was peaceful. It's now almost 7 in the morning. Usually when I'm camping, I can't sleep much past the crack of dawn, but that was almost 2 hours ago. Still nice and cool. It's still in here. It only got down to about 55 degrees last night. So it's a little bit chilly in here, but once I get up and walking around, it'll be nice. See, we got these big gaps. We can see right outside. Still very peaceful. There's no wind. You can hear a lot of traffic. You could hear that in my time lapse a lot. It sounded like bees buzzing. So this was one of my more comfortable camps overall. Today it's supposed to get around to be almost 80 degrees. Not as warm as yesterday, but wall-to-wall sunshine. And then tomorrow the rain will return a little bit. I'm not thirsty or hungry, but I know I'm probably dehydrated. And I should probably drink some water. Then I gotta go outside and pee. That water's pretty cold. Almost as cold as being refrigerated. Now, we gotta get those thumbtacks out of the door. 1, 2, and I only use 3. And the rest of them we can rip down from the outside. Make sure I don't lose any of the tacks. I don't want to step on those. And we can start picking up everything inside here now. Gotta get my boots on. Then we can go outside. Start cleaning up everything. And it's time to go outside. Nice and sunny out. Can hear a lot of birds happy and chirping out here. You know, everyone, this just worked out. I didn't even plan on doing this. I didn't even think I was going to sleep in this the night I built it. You know, for the past, who knows how long, it's been raining every single night, and it's been pretty humid. But we actually had a dry, cool day by accident in here. I'm glad I didn't have to be out here on a humid night when it was raining, because if it was humid and raining, I bet there would have been so many mosquitoes, but it being cooler out, it kept them away. I also think it kept all the slugs away. You know, I'm looking at the ground outside. I can see a couple slug trails. They leave this slime, and as soon as the sun comes out, you can see it glimmering and shining all over the place. But really not that many. I wasn't disturbed by them much. So the door right here, I'm gonna wash this. Unlike most of my camps, I don't think I need to wash the blanket in there. I can just fold it back up for next time. It didn't get dirty or anything. The tarp covered it up nice. The sheet I'll wash though. I'll actually use this thing out here as a nice clean place to put the things I'm bringing out. All right, we got everything out. This tarp is kind of dirty. I think I need to spread that out, and once it dries out in the sun, I can just sweep it off. Then I'll fold it up nice. Underneath that tarp traps so much moisture. See that moss in there? It was really wet underneath there, like dew on the underside of it. So now everything is cleaned up really nice. I can get all this stuff back, I think, in 2 or 3 trips. Can't forget about my jacket in there. It's a nice day. All right, everyone, it's about to be 8 in the morning. Already got everything completely cleaned up. Campsite's all clear. We're just gonna leave this structure here and see how it holds up to winter. See if it actually collapses or not. I think that's all based on how much snow we're gonna get. Can barely see it. All these balsam fir trees are really filling in this year, becoming more dense with all the rain and much cooler weather this year. This is one of the cooler years we've had in quite a while, and it's helping the forest a whole ton. But because it's been raining so much, I'm wondering if we're going to be stuck in that pattern for winter, which means a lot of snow. And here's what it looks like from the back. Anyways, I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.